Let me say something that might sound wrong at first. You don't need more money. If more money fixed financial stress, then raises would cure anxiety and bonuses would save marriages. And higher income would automatically create peace. But we know that's not true. Some of the most stressed people we know make more money than they ever thought possible. And they're still drowning. So it's not income. What is it? It's margin. Most people don't have an income problem, they have a margin problem. And margin isn't extra money. Margin is space. It's space between what comes in and what goes out. It's a space that lets you breathe, think clearly, lead instead of react. When margin disappears, everything feels urgent. Every bill feels like a threat. Every decision feels very heavy. That doesn't mean that you're bad with money. It's because you're operating without oxygen. Here's a mistake most people make. They think financial peace comes from earning more, so they grind harder, work longer hours, try to take in more. But pouring more water into a leaky bucket doesn't fix the problem. You don't fix a leaking ship by rowing harder or going faster. You fix it by plugging the holes. That's why more income often makes things worse. More money without margin just feels like bigger obligations, bigger payments, bigger stress. What you need first isn't a raise. It isn't a side hustle. It isn't even overtime necessarily right now. It's not some sort of complicated budget. What you need is a system that stops the bleeding. Let me make this very simple. There are 3 reasons people stay financially stuck. The first reason, money slips away without permission. Subscriptions, fees, auto charges that you forgot. These are leakage. Second, obligations heavier than your income can carry. Payments stacked too high. Lifestyle locked in pressure. That's the load. And third, no margin, no buffer, no breathing room. And that's the lack. When those 3 combine, every good income feels tight. You can make a lot and you still feels tight. That's why discipline alone does not work. You don't need more self-control. You need fewer wounds. That's why most financial advice gets it wrong. They start with budgets, spreadsheets, long-term projections. But when someone is under pressure, complexity makes things worse. When you're bleeding, you don't need a long-term plan. You need a tourniquet to cut off the bleeding. You need something fast, firm, decisive. That's the shift. Instead of asking, how do I optimize everything? Which is a great question. But you need to ask 3 better questions right now. What's the biggest wound? What's the fastest win available? And what's the simplest steps forward right now? That's how clarity returns. And here's something very important. Money is not a personality trait. It's a skill. When skills can grow fast. When you have structure, when you have clarity. You weren't trained for this. No one sat down with you and gave you a system. They handed you a bunch of bills, debt, and pressure, and told you to go figure it out yourself. That's not failure at all. It's a lack of training. Biblically, this matters. Scripture doesn't talk about money in terms of guilt. It talks about in the sense of stewardship. Stewardship is leadership. Managing what's been entrusted to you with wisdom and order. And wisdom produces peace. Foolishness produces pressure. God doesn't bless chaos. He blesses clarity. That doesn't mean that you need perfection. It just means you need order in the situation. Margin is part of that order. Margin protects your mind, your marriage, your mission. Without margin, everything feels reactive. With margin, you can lead. That's why the first win isn't thousands of dollars in the bank or thousands of dollars made more per year. It's your first 100. Your first $100 of margin can't be savings. It's just all it is. It's just air. And air changes everything. When you can breathe, you think differently. You act differently. You stop making fear-based decisions. So no, you don't need more money right now. You need space. You need clarity. You need to stop bleeding to build margin and to put your money back in its proper place. As a servant, as a slave, not as a master. If this resonates with you, you're not behind, you are rebuilding. And once margin returns, income becomes easier, decisions become clearer, and leadership becomes possible again. That's the reset. And this is just the beginning. If your life is in financial disarray, grab that financial freedom blueprint below. If you want to figure out what those big issues in your life are that you need to put a tourniquet on, grab the man's filter down below as well. If you found value in this video, please like this, comment down below, and subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out when the next one comes.